Hello guys and welcome back to a new video. Today is a little bit special, not gonna be gameplay. I've been working on some of the civilization guide, and I'm planning on doing one for every civilization, starting from the first one of the list to the last one. Today's video, as you can see, we'll talk about the Aztec. I did make 20 points about it, but I'll go kind of quickly in between those. Usually like 1 minute to 2 minute maximum. Else you can just pause at any time the video or rewind it, just to have some more detailed. So I did make that guy by my own. I don't know how it's gonna work for you guys, if you're gonna enjoy those. But well, let's get straight into it. So the first point will be, I said general presentation, was more like a context one. So Aztec is like aggressive infantry civilization, obviously. You're lacking cavalry, you're lacking artillery, but you're having like infantry that have the same purposes that those two. So we're gonna straight move on the second point. So strength and weaknesses. Basically, this is personal, obviously. So you guys will probably agree on at some point and disagree on some, but that's how it is. Strength, I'm gonna go quickly into that. Strong infantry, obviously you only have infantry, so they are not lacking good infantry units. Community Plaza is taking a major part when it comes to Aztec. Shipments are actually strong. With that, I'm also including Big Button. Unit composition are kind of easy to make because there's only 2 buildings to take care of. Tempo is insane, War Chief is insane, and the Snowball is actually insane as well. On the weaknesses on the other side, no cavalry, no artillery basically. Some units, as I say, are gonna make you like, they're gonna be the cavalry, they're gonna be the artillery, but still will be an infantry unit. Using Community Plaza is a little bit hard, I'll have to say. That's why it goes with, to me, high skill requirement, because it's actually really hard to make correct use of the Community Plaza when you're like discovering the game or still playing the game. Mistakes are unforgiving. It works for a lot of the civs, but Aztec is really one of them because you are not really scaling too good. So if you're not taking a good tempo or a good advantage in the early game, you're probably gonna just fall off. And you're also like shipment dependent, in my opinion, but with the Community Plaza, we'll see later that this is not a true problem. For the third point, I wanted to go on 2 different variations of opening. This is the starting point. This is what you get when you start the game. 2 options for the opening. Community Plaza, TPN, you chop actually 100 for a house. This is most likely FF kind of scenario. And the second one could be a rush scenario, where you actually go Community Plaza as well. You build the house, build the market, and with the treasure you're looking for wooden coin just to get hunting dogs. Gives you a little boost. Like those 2 are basically the starting points. And just important to note, I'm not gonna read everything as I say, but just make sure you read those, the important part and the tips. For the 4th point, we're going to building mechanics, but really quickly. Building that you will have to be using in order to play Aztec correctly will be Community Plaza. Crucial point. War Hut is basically acting like a outpost and a rags. This gives you the tier 1 unit. Noble Hut is actually doing the same purposes than the War Hut, but it's most likely for the 2nd tier. And as I say, no stable, no artillery foundry. For the mechanics, to me, only 3 that you have to get Aztec going smoothly. Warrior Priest, crucial point. Like with the Community Plaza, they both are like probably gonna decide if you're gonna win with Aztec or lose with them. Warchief Aura, just for the XP. You just have to know that Warchief, Aztec Warchief boost the XP you gain when defeating anything, building units or whatever, even Treasure Guardian. And the Age of Tribal Council. By that I mean with some European civ, for example, you age up with one of those and it's switching up for the next age. For Aztec, for example, you'll already always have the same 5 tribal council guy. They just give you another bonus or a bigger bonus. So you just have to make sure you're aware of those and play along that. Actually, point 5, quick overview on the units. Coyotes, good against skirmisher and artillery. They basically are your cavalry unit. Otantin or mace, good against heavy infantry, good against infantry in general. Really easy to make and to mass. The Puma is the pikeman, basically, good against cavalry building. Warrior Priest, not gonna use them for battling. If you do so, probably it's just like really situational, but overall it's a good point to know that they're good against artillery in some way, like against Falk, Bushams or stuff like this. Warrior Priest can get pulled out of the Community Plaza and probably help you. So those 3 here are the tier 1. And for the tier 2, you'll have the Jaguar. So really popular with the first big button on the TC that we'll cover next on. Basically, it's acting like heavy infantry and cavalry counter. And then you have the Eagle, which is really good against cavalry, also super fast. This could be like a goon, basically. And the last one is the Harrow Knight, which is super long range, good against artillery in building. Could act like a Coverine, basically. Last but not least, School Knight. This is not a unit you can produce, it's more like a shipment one, or you can make some at the Community Plaza, but it's only in H4. Overall, it's Jaguar on steroids with some hurry up effects, good against cavalry, building, infantry, like everything. To be fair, this unit is totally jacked. Next point, this one is one of the point maybe you want to pause on. I'll just quickly explain. When I tell, like, I'm renaming the deck anything because you can actually rush with that. You can also get H3, so it's really hard for the opponent to read that deck. And then the AW stand for anti-water, so at least you're having like a variation if you're playing on water. FF/FI, so fast fortress, fast industrial. Second card, we'll cover that later on, but it's probably most situational and optional. Maybe you can have a unit in H2 rather than this card to be a little bit more safe. And a water deck. Aztec got schooners in the deck right here, so could be good, but as I say, there's plenty of point, and if you notice that, we'll cover also the water play. Then we have build orders, so this is not like, this is what I think about build order when playing Aztec. This is maybe not the best, this is maybe not the cleanest, but in my opinion is the easy to replicate at any level. So like the deck part, you're probably gonna post that. I'm not gonna read through it. Crucial point is more likely if you rush and you get the hunting dog start, you can probably squeeze out 14 age up. messengers for the fast age. But then everything is just written down. Not gonna spend too much time on that. Fast fortress. Only one thing to notice: you're gonna be at 20 supply, like pop. Can't get rid of StarCraft supply, but you're gonna be like 20 pop. So the idea is to queue wheels to 18 or 19 and then ship the 5 villagers to overpop with that. So you can age up on 24 or 23 without having to build a house. So you're basically winning 100 wood, which is nice. For the 8th point, we're gonna go with the army composition. I did like 3 part of the game. Basically, early game is mostly gonna be Autentin, Slinger, and Coyote Runner. Basically, the core build and some Puma if you need to. Goal if you play early game with Aztec, which is in my opinion recommended, is to pressure, secure the map, and just try to move on H3 with the lead or map control, or if you can just end the game in H2, it's also working. For mid game, you'll have access to Jaguar. I guess Jaguar plus Coyote makes a really strong front line that can be supported with Autentin in the back, or Eagle Runner Knight to get a little bit more anti-cav. Only one goal, basically, force a big fight. H3 is your power spike with Aztec. Longer the game goes, harder is going to be with Aztec. So, in my opinion, if you can end it in H2 or 3, it will be definitely better. And for late game, if somehow you're going through that, just make use of the tier 3 unit. Jaguar for infantry, against infantry, Eagle for against cavalry. Some Autentin because they're cheap and easy to mass, and Iron Knight acting like cannons. Basically, this is more like a doomed scenario at this point. Aztec are not really that strong in late game. Goal will be like to raid with Coyote if you can, acting like a cavalry member, and just try to take a big fight and outmass on the remass, but at this point it's probably already over for you. Economy management, so this is a little bit visual. It's gonna be hard to explain that because it's really hard to talk about this, but I wanted to include the fact only for the ratio. Food is basically half of your villager will have to be on food with Aztec, because unit cost a lot of food. You also have to produce villager, and big button are actually quite expensive food wise. Wood will be 1/4, like the coin basically. Wood is just for upgrade building, and big button but for later on. Not much. Coin will be your key point to get tier 2 units, so stronger units. Also getting upgrades obviously. And Aztec is working in a way that they have mercenary shipment that boost the unit in question. So you'll need coin at some point, obviously, to get those shipments, those merc shipment, and also the bonuses they give. And last but not least, we'll talk deeply about that later, but Community Plaza. As I say right here, unless you're going for a rush, get the 10 Warrior Priest as soon as possible. Like, those guys are really crucial, but we're not gonna talk with that. I don't remember on what point, but we're getting there. So right now, talking about transitioning, key timing. This is roughly the timing you'll have to get in order of which build you're gonna pick. So for the rush, age up at 4 minutes. The Elder gives you a war hut. This could be also the messenger and shipping the big button instantly. This is kind of new meta, more than what I'm doing here, but both can work. And Elder also gives you the ward, so you don't really have to chop that much in transition, so can be really good as well. 6:30 pushing, 8 minutes should be winning. Obviously it's a little trolly, but you get the idea. Depending on your first push, even you're so far ahead that you win, or the game just stalls, or you just lose. But if you're going hardcore on the rush, you really have to win on that, because your economy is not going to be super strong in the back. No warrior priest, no, like nothing actually. And for fast fortress, so 345 H2. This is not the same timing, only because you can have hunting dog with that. 6 minutes roughly, you should be maxed on warrior priest. In 9 minutes, you should be clicking at H3 with the elder. As I say, with the politician, basically elder in H1 right here will give you 1 ward. Elder on H3 gives you 2 noble odds. That's what I mean with different bonuses, but same age up. Only politician that did not get affected with that is the messenger, still going fast no matter what. Next on matchups, this is kind of rough to explain. I took the stats just so you know on FFP, 3-foot party, website you should visit no matter what. They are running like every AOE data and players and matchup. You can watch games right here and stuff. Just go on FFP, man. This is just so you know, based on FFP and based on every elo. It's not like a 2k plus or below 2k, or all things considered. And for some reason I was a little bit shocked by myself about the win rate of this matchup. Inca being high, obviously, because Inca, you know. But like Spain, Germany, I was not thinking those two would be the first ones. But well, so this is not that important. It was just here to be here, you know. Moving on to the tips and mistakes. Tips. So Plaza, we'll go through that. I'm gonna skip. Be aggressive, obviously, high tempo civ. Warrior priest, you need them as long as the community Plaza. Mix units. I know I'm not really well placed to tell you to mix units, because I'm usually monocomping some units, but if you want to play more serious, obviously you'll have to mix units. Send smart shipments. By that, you'll have to decide if you want to rush, if you want to go eco, or like you'll have a lot of shipment if you get the 10 warrior priest and the XP dance. But overall, be just lean and smart on which shipment you want to have first to improve the snowball. Just the right age up looks logic, but still have to think a little. Do you want a fast H2H2 or fast H2H3? Coyotes are the calf, so used for raid. We discussed that already, and map control. For the mistakes, basically, this is what I do every day, relying on 1 or 2 units. I should be reading my own guide. Neglecting the community plazas, yeah. Not scouting. Not scouting is the mistake for every civ, but for Aztec is really important, because you'll have to... Your units are not too strong. They're okay, but you really have to have the correct composition before taking a fight. Else it's really not gonna be going your way. Floating resources obviously is common to every civ, but Aztec is a high tempo civ, so less resources you have, better it is. Playing to passive, so yeah. Picking roam shipment makes sense, but still you'll have to be really smart on which one you want to have. And positioning will be key, common to every civ, obviously, but Aztec is one of them. If you take a really big fight, even if you're so far behind in eco, with the war dance, good positioning, you can really win some games that you shouldn't be winning. Optional card choices. This is something I wanted to talk about, mostly because I know I'm doing some of them. And just to give you another perspective on the civilization, because you can play standard. I find it quite boring. And Aztec is one of those civs. They have access to so many cards and so many options. If we go deep down into that, town ceremony we'll discuss with the plaza. Next, same for the calendar ceremony. Religious unities, if you want to play mercs, basically they reduce half the cost in coin. So you can get a lot of value with that. There's also a video on my own channel with this build. Kind of fun to play. High Priest of Extilton. Can I read? I don't know. Basically boosts by 10% if I remember correctly the Warrior Priest. And also buffing the Warship. So kind of good card overall. It's optional because you don't have to get this card every game. But in my opinion, it's a really good card to have. Then this is for cheaper Warhead. So basically going with Town Ceremony. My analysis for the rush or could work with Religious Unity, but this gets more value in H3 or 4 and this card is in H2. Citadel is basically the Aztec fort. Ritual Gladiators. Optional because it's really depending on if you're gonna spam Jag or Prolo Knight or not. It gives you Jags every 3 Jaguar you lose, you get 1 with this shipment. And I think it's capped or max to 12 if I'm not mistaken. So basically it's good if you're playing a full-on big button Jaguar Pro Knight and shipment. And after losing them, you basically send the card and it gives you 12 Jags again in H3. All things considered, it's a really sick shipment. And H4 is basically as long. Playing with the town ceremony, so improve building HP, fortification, stone towers. Like nothing for real games, but for meme builds, obviously this is what you want. Moving on to the strategies. So religious unity, just gonna go quickly with that one because that's what I want. What I talked about with you. Fun to play, obviously. Requires a lot of shipment experience. You can get some native along that build to boost the XP. But usually you'll have to get the 10 Warrior Priest and Dance for XP all game long. But for the 2 others, Town Ceremony basically gives you a hell lot of HP on the buildings. Also boosting their attack. You can have some insane buildings. By that I mean like Warhut and Noblehut at max potential can reach almost 30k HP with that. That's like just truly insane. It's playing in tower defense. This is really toxic to play against. Is it toxic to play? I don't know. But this is really memey. So advantage obviously doesn't require much effort. If you set up, like really you set up, it's really hard to get this one out of the game. I'm also thinking of running a series. If you can, guys, let me know in the comment if you'd like it. Some video of me on YouTube already with this build, and I was thinking about like setting up myself with that build and giving you some time, like 10, 15, 20 minutes to kill the community plaza, for example. Will be like a challenge between you and I. Probably could be a lot of fun. Just let me know. Drawback obviously is how to set up, and calendar ceremony. So this one basically makes you are dancing on the community plaza, and you are reducing every second the cost of the next age up. So, in my opinion, either you go fast industrial with that, but I don't think it's really worth it. It gets two uses, in my opinion. Imperial, obviously, because if the game is like not progressing, not fighting, nothing, you can just dance for that on the meantime, and suddenly you can click Imperial for like 1k resources. The other use I see with that is like an H3 or H4 situation. H3 most likely situation that gets a little bit stuck. You're both making units, trading blows and stuff, and you just suddenly just turtle a little for like 2 to 3 minutes. You don't have to dance for a long time, and unlock that to H4 basically for free, and then you keep on spamming units. Like this can get a lot of good uses, I feel like. But drawback obviously takes a long time before it's valuable. I don't have the exact statistic. Probably you can find it. But yeah, the calendar ceremony is definitely a lot of unexplored strategy, but really hard to pull off in 1v1. Probably in team game makes a lot of sense. And here is the crucial point. Community Plaza. So Community Plaza will decide if you're good with Aztec or if you're gonna lose with Aztec. In my opinion, this is the most important building of Aztec's arsenal. So first one, Over Ceremony. Basically increased production by 10% for the economy, for the military units, and 4 for economic. You can boom with that. You can produce really fast. You can remass really fast. But you can't be putting all your plaza onto that all game long. So plaza, how it's working, you choose for dance. For those who don't know, you just choose for dance and you get the bonus next to this. So this is good for remass, okay, or for boom, but basically remass. A gift ceremony, probably the second most important dance. Increase the experience trickle rate. Basically with 10 warrior priest, which is the max you can have on Community Plaza, you'll send a shipment for H2. And when this shipment arrives, you already will have a second shipment, and so on. It scales down, obviously, because you're needing more XP as long as the game goes. But basically, it gives you shipment back to back to back to back. If you're not doing anything in the game, not fighting, not booming, just dance for that. This is really crucial. Warship ceremony. So boost the stats of the warship, that's one thing. But also you can bring him back to life if he's defeated. So really useful with Aztec is if you lose the warrior chief, yeah, I recommend to just dance to get it back. With 10 warrior priests, it's taking about 16 seconds, something like that. And it's tanking a lot. Like in H3 or 4, this is 1.5, 2k HP, frontline, guaranteed. Just make sure you have this guy when you fight. Call the people, spawns warrior really fast, like on 2 seconds, I think, for one. They're acting like Minutemen, they're losing health, but they spawn rapidly. Can be good if you're like trying to FF and you need some units. Elo ceremonies, so this is the dance you go with to get the warrior priest. You start with 1, you can send 3, so you have to dance for 6 of them. The go-to basically is to send in between 10 to 15 villagers when you're in H2 after sending the big button, and dance for those guys just to get 10 as fast as possible. You'll get the value back with the gift ceremony, the second one, with shipment. It's like 700 wood, 600 coin, 5 wheels. You'll get all of that, and it will like pair off the time you lose with the villagers to dance for that. War ceremony, crucial one, probably top one dance. You'll have to remember, increase the range and hand attack of all units. So basically, when you're fighting, remember, put it like somewhere in your head. If you fight, just go to the plaza, go to war ceremony, and then fight. The difference is massive if you're dancing or not. Eating ceremony, a little bit more situational, but really strong one. Imagine you're taking a fight, both units are low, but well, just dance for that. They'll regain all of their health back, just like a good stall ceremony. And then the Garland War ceremony basically gives you School Night. You cannot produce School Night any other way than this dance. The only other way is to get shipments, but you can't build them in Warlord or Noble. You'll have to dance for them. They shadow tech through ages, so just keep that in mind. And Founder is the big button, but we'll get to the big button later on. And through a shipment, a water dance, basically acting like the war ceremony, but for warship. A calendar ceremony, as we discussed, and a town ceremony. A big button, detailed. Town center, we're gonna go quickly on that one. Gives you 4 jags. Practically the go-to with Aztec when you hit H2, no matter what the build you do. Those guys are like basically H3 units that you get in instantly in H2. And then you go with 8 in H3 and 12 also in H3. Warhawk, so I'm not gonna go through those, but just remember that there's a lot of big button, one with every building. Make sure you know them and make sure you use them. But yeah, basically some stuff like the market. Sure, it's a little bit expensive, but gives you like 2000 XP, just imagine. In early H3, for example, or 4, like this is worth 2.5, 2 shipments. Like, just remember to use big button. So, water or not? That's the question. Aztec, basically, I'll give you my own take and I'll let you guys read what's written. But in my opinion, Aztec is a really high tempo sieve that works on land, most likely. They're good for anti-water, just because of the war hut on the shoreline that can help. In my opinion, they're good on anti-water, but they're so much better on land that it's not worth taking the time to kill the water with Aztec. You better kill the land. So, like, I've made a little speech about that on the next one. But if we go quickly on that, water ceremony, schooners. So those two makes a really good water sieve. War canoe are good. Hybrid maps are good for Aztecs. And the H3 warship is really good. Also have the privateers in H2 as a mercenary shipment. And if you want to play long term, you like economic upgrade. Don't have the map control if you play water, which is crucial for Aztec. Warships, variety is really low. Probably just 2 of them if you're not counting the canoes. And as I say, like Aztec through strength lies on land, not at sea. This is the most important point in my opinion of you playing water or not. When it comes to the difficulty of playing the civilization, this is, in my opinion, well resumed, a simple micro, but demanding macro. With that, I'm including, obviously, in macro the community plaza. But yeah, composition straightforward. Infantry-based army. No micro, no complex counters, as I say, like nothing really. You just make a big army. You move in. You dance on the community plaza, and you win. That's how Aztec is supposed to work. But as we speak here, this strength relies on precise micromanagement. So community plaza, as I say, warrior priest production. It can be really hard to get those 10 warrior priests for free without taking any blow, but they get a lot of value if you manage to get those. And shipments actually are a little bit hard to balance. As I say in here, this is really important to understand. Small labs in villager production or community plaza management heavily impact your tempo. Difficulty rating, in my opinion, is a 3-star out of 5. Because I think it's really noob friendly in a way, and it's really hard to master at eye level. Micro is easy, macro is super hard, so it makes like a really balanced one, straight in the middle. And we're coming to the end of that. Just civilization ranking, depending on which map you're playing. Land map, I did put A-, because they're really good on land. High tempo, big rush, etc. They fall off in eye level. That's why I'm not giving that S. Just, it goes S, A, B, C, D. But yeah, at eye level, like Aztec are good, but really they are lacking some good matchups against good Civ, like European Civs. Hybrid maps gives it a B+. As I say, it's really easy to get the shoreline with Warhead. Warship are actually good in H2. Shipments are good for that. So hybrid maps, I mean anti-water. Like you are not playing the water, you're just denying it, still putting pressure on land. To me, B+. Water maps is C. Could be A in a way, because you have access to double schooner, a lot of warships that are strong, but as I say, in my opinion, Aztec has to play on land and not water. If you play full water with Aztec and gives out totally on land, you probably just lose the game. And general tier, all things considered, will be a B. If it was to be a tier list of civilization, this could be a good indicator of what I think. But yeah, like solid in a way, really aggressive. Community Plaza gives you a lot of strong, if not OP bonuses. But like limited scaling and demanding macro prevent them on top tier. Basically, yeah. Like the higher it goes in level, in elo, and the harder it's gonna be. And for the last one, a quick summary. If you're lazy, this is where you're going, straight at the beginning. But Aztec, is really aggressive, timing based, and strong in early and mid game, no doubt. Community Plaza and Warrior Priest are crucial for eco, crucial for military, and for shipment. And micro is easy, accessible to new players, as I say, because really there's not a lot to do. If you have a good mass or a good army, just move in and I'm pretty sure you'll do fantastic. But mastering it to high elo is really becoming harder compared to some other civs. Botto, no, I'm joking. We'll come to Otto someday. But they struggle on water maps and they struggle in long games. So just use the tempo in H2 or 3, or use your strength on hybrid map. But overall, if I give you my personal opinion, play on land, play aggressive, secure the map, and play from there. Like, this is really the go-to with Aztec. Longer the game goes, harder it's gonna be. So don't really try to go H4 to get a more solid upgrades or stuff. Like, if you can end the game H3, just go for it. Alright, that was it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I was hoping for it to be a little bit shorter. Maybe I can work on my presentation to get it. But I wanted to go an Aztecs guide on this one. We're gonna cover every save of the game, but we have to start with something. Make sure, guys, to tell me in the comment section if you enjoyed those kind of video. This is actually a lot of work for me, considering I still have the daily upload, still have my work not being fired yet. But this is taking me a little bit of time. Like, I did everything you've seen here, the PowerPoint and stuff by myself. I'm really not a pro at that, so it took me like few weeks of work. And just let me know which save you wanted to be covered on the next one. I started with Aztec because it was the first one, but I'm done to mix it up and not picking the second save of the list, but the one that's getting the most like, for example. Anyway, that was it for me today. I'm glad to have you in the community, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. See ya.